All right, so we're really flying by the seat of our pants here today. This is me on my patio in natural lighting conditions and open air. So we're going to see how well this works because I really wanted to show some more live stuff. And I'm about to start gluing together the Darth Vader helmet. So this is going to be a surefire adventure. So please join me on it. If you have any questions, I'll be taking questions throughout this session here, and of course, if I need to adjust the audio at all, please let me know because I do not want to hurt anybody's ears. That would be a severe no-no for Jaden. All right. Oh, and of course, background car noise is always going to play a major feature. All right. Let's see here. I'm just going to pull up some references. Awesome. Let's begin. I'm going to take my headphones off so that I don't look quite so podcasty while I deal with... Oh gosh. I don't have my glue. I'll be right back. Oh no. Here we go. Oh Lord, that should be plenty of glue for today. Here we go. Let's pry her open and get started. I've been really excited to start putting this together. Since we last saw our build, Jaden went ahead and did some undercutting to really try and pop out some of those details before we string a bunch of contact cement on here. I also made a few decisions regarding some shape, and I decided that this is also going to be one of those builds where it's not necessarily fully functional. The top's not going to come off. It's Vader, but it's more for display than anything else. I'm going to give this contact cement a good stir up. Try to beat back any lumps there might be hanging out in here. Awesome. Fantastic. We'll just ditch that down there. So let's get started. I thought we might start with the dome, more or less, because it definitely sort of makes the most sense. So we've got the two pieces on the top. We have the ribbon strip, as well as the outer flare pieces and the side of the dome. Here we go. Keep your pieces organized, kids. Let's do this. All right. Fantastic. Again, if anybody has any questions about how I'm doing this, I'm kind of mixing things up. I've done different things in the past, but for this build, especially for the dome, I'm trying a layered technique rather than edge-to-edge joints on the ribbon detail. I've decided that this is actually just going to sort of lay on top right here. And that'll give me a really strong bond, I feel. So I'm very excited about that. There we go. Let's start heat treating. There we go. All right. Now, when I heat treat the foam for the first time, it's really important to me that I sort of suggest the final shape. But not necessarily get too worked up about whether or not it's entirely perfect. Like this is going to sort of bend out. We're going to kind of cup the over the brow shape, but we're not going to get super hung up on whether or not that is the perfect shape. We will check that after we've got it all glued together. So there's that. some. There we go. The gluing process is always, perhaps even more so than the cutting process, an exercise in patience. Because you got to be managing your time pretty well, but also you can't rush these things too much because you'll wind up messing up some really pretty work you've done. Honestly, a lot of the craft is that way. I'm sure you all know. All right, so we got these two pieces, which are going to kind of come up and around the head. That's great. Perfect. I love the way those are winging out right now. Let's prep the dome. Prep the dome. A lot of people have asked me in the costuming world, because of course I have a degree in costuming, not necessarily a degree in foam cosplay, but a lot of people have asked me why I like foam so much, and I think my best answer to that has to be that I have not encountered a material I like so much doing compound curves in, meaning that I can curve it this way and also this way just so easily, and it's already almost in the shape that I want it, and it took less than a minute. You can really grind some amazing pieces out of this material. For the more eagle-eyed observers, you'll notice that this table is a lot dirtier than last time, and that is because I wound up using it to paint up a very large sword commission for a fella named Melvin. For his web cartoon, he commissioned me a 6-foot version of a sword from his comic, which was a lot of fun, but definitely required more surface area than some of my past builds. So you can see the paint kind of living everywhere on my workspace now. There we go. It's so good to be back after a long vacation. It always gets your gears turning, gets you ready for a new something, another something. I've been really itching to glue this thing together. There we go. Now, when gluing together domed pieces or curved pieces, it's perfectly acceptable to use registration marks to try and make sure that you're lining up edge to edge exactly where that needs to be. For this build, I felt like the pieces sort of curved themselves together in a more natural way, and I tried to check to make sure that all my darts were going to meet up pretty well, and I don't think I'm going to need that. I think this is gonna line up pretty well. I'll probably join together both edges and then call it a day. Oh, thanks, Melvin. I'm glad you like the sword so much. And believe me, this was a matter of necessity. That thing was so much fun to paint. It was a lot of fun, but I definitely needed to keep it up off the ground, and I wanted to make sure everything laid down correctly. Here we go. So let's start with these pieces here. There we go. My, what a guy think a star. When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large. And now that I'm grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs till I'm roughly the size of a barn. No one's been like Gaston, a king been like Gaston. No one's got a swell cleft in his chin like Gaston. Ugh. For those of you who watch the channel regularly, I am a big proponent of at least 2 layers of glue on any seam. I find that's enough to make sure that your seams really bond together, but it's also not so much glue that it becomes impossible to sand down after the fact. Because one of the things I love about contact cement is you really can just bite down into it if you need to correct a shaping error or something that you didn't feel like really worked on the initial glue. There we go. Let's see here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Well, thank you again, Melvin. Yeah, I tend to sing while I work. It's a just a habit. Here we go. There we go. I like to speed up my workflow by having lots of pieces curing and drying as I'm getting other things ready. So sometimes it looks like a bit of a mess, but it's an organized sort of chaos. I'm ready for it. Although occasionally things do get missed. But foam is a forgiving medium. That's why we love it. Awesome. Perfect. Ugh. Here we go. Tend to be pretty liberal with that, but that should pan out pretty well. There we go. Let's do second layer over here. I had a fella ask me the other day about why I use foam brushes when I use contact cement, because there is an issue that tends to crop up that a lot of people do experience, is that if you can't tend not to be able to reuse them, but more than that, you tend to run into an issue where after you've been working for a while, if you're not careful, your brush will start to stick to your foam, because of course they're both at least semi-porous foams. And the truth of the matter is, if it really comes down to it, these things are just so darn cheap. I think I once got a bucket of like 100 of them for like $5 flat from Michael's, and then like a 40% off coupon. So I mean, you know, how are you going to beat that? There's just no way. It's they're so cheap, and they offer a lot of control. I really like working with these kinds of brushes. I do. There we go. There we go. Oh god, I'm so excited. I consider it a personal matter of pride if a template that I'm working from, that I've created, just sort of pops out the shape once you start gluing it together. So I'm really excited to see if I hit the mark with this one. Need to have a little more confidence in myself, but still very excited about this. There we go. Pro tip: it's worth noting that you can accidentally cure this glue too quickly. When you do, it'll start to bubble. When it starts to bubble, the bond just sort of lets go from whatever it's on initially, and it's just no good anymore. Usually I end up having to either get some solvent or just like pick it off, because otherwise it just won't bond the two surfaces. The glue will just kind of, it'll stay tacky, but it won't actually stick the two things together. It'll just remain sort of vaguely sticky and awful. So yeah. Whew. There we go. There we go. Sweet. I'm going to start from the front because it's more important to me that the front looks correct than the back. So if there's any issues, we can hide them at least a little bit. Oh. Huge shout out to Pet Master. John, you did an amazing job with this file, and I'm just so happy to be able to make some good templates off it. And I can't wait to share them once this build is done. I just want to make sure. You know, have had some people ding me. They're like, you know, you could just release the files, and I'm like, I like building them first, where possible, just to make sure there's no like massive glaring errors. I've caught some pretty big errors, issues like pieces just outright missing, and it's always easy to go back and fix those things rather than just releasing the files multiple times. There we go. That looks pretty darn good. That shape's pretty good. It's got the sort of squareness at the intervals that you would see on like a skull. That's perfect. There we go. Let's make sure this is also good. Also good? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, hey, honey. There we go. Sorry, that was my my fiance. We are newly engaged, which is very exciting indeed. It did happen over the vacation, in case anybody was wondering, so there you go. Oh, that is not... There we go. Ooh, that was not tacky when I put it together. That's like always one of the big fears. Here we go. Oh, this dome is looking very nice. There we go. Awesome. Little bit of puckering there, but let's smooth that down with some sanding later. There we go. Awesome. So we got the two halves of the bucket right here. I think the easiest way to put this together is actually going to be to attach each of these to the brim and then attach them with the runner up the center. There we go. All right. Big long seams, big long seams. Here we go. Oh man, you can tell this jar of contact cement is getting older. It's definitely starting to gum up. I'm gonna have to get more contact cement soon. I know a lot of people like working with barge, but I like DAP. I love how thin it is when it first comes out, and it's very easy to work with. Honestly, it really is like painting on the glue at that point, and it makes it so much easier to work with. So that is gonna go with this one. There we go. Hey, John, thanks for making an appearance. I'm really excited about this build. I think, whoop. Now that's where we wear the apron. Pro tip, if you don't have an apron, get yourself one. Because I Of course, because I also film these. I definitely try to wear nice-ish shirts with this stuff. And I've definitely saved a couple of them with the apron. That's neither here nor there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Go. Trying to smooth that out. You don't want any big lumps in there. So that's how you get pockets that just do not cure. And then it's a nightmare to try and glue these two pieces together. You end up with a bunch of sanding. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. There we go. Awesome. Hey, we got more people hopping on. That's great. If you got any questions about this, please drop them in the comments. Otherwise, feel free to just chill. It's a beautiful night out. And frankly, glad to be here. Good to be home. Good to be making. There we go. So, fit those together in a moment. Let's make sure this is curing. Hot take, if you're a crafter, are you really one? If you don't constantly just jam brushes in your mouth. There we go. Let's add some more contact cement there. Go. Oh. I've been by you since I don't do it. My mind, it must come to an end. Do. But when I go, when I slam the door, I think you know that I suddenly lose control. And there's a fire inside my soul. Just one look and I can hear a bell ring. One more look and I forget everything. Oh, mamma mia, here I go again. My, How could I forget you, Mamma Mia? Doesn't mean a thing. Yeah, I've been broken hearted, blue since the day we parted. Why did I ever let you go, Mamma Mia? Doo-doo-doo. There we go. All right. Let's make sure this is all good and cured. There we go. My old instructor, she used to tell me about how if you're ever unsure if a glue is ready to be cemented, just keep hitting it with your finger until you feel ready. Just keep going. There we go. That looks pretty good, actually. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and press these together. Again, I'm gonna start from the front. Oh no! Leaf blowers! Oh god, I'm gonna mute. Okay, he's moving off. And I'm gonna try and deal with this nightmare seam here. Ooh. Man, compound curves are one thing, but when you have to kind of jam two convex curves together, excuse me, two concave curves together, you definitely realize how deep in it you are. There we go. Oh, wow, that's pretty good. I don't think that's going to require a ton of extra shaping. Actually, yeah, that's very Darth Vader-y. Wow, I'm very happy with the way that looks. Yeah, just 3 pieces aside. Let's go ahead and get the other side worked together here. Do. There we go. Awesome. Let's stick the other side together. The real question is, did I do this well enough that when I stick it together, both sides, one isn't just crazy lopsided? Oh man. Here we go. Ooh. There comes a point in every build where you just start grabbing things and jamming them together to make sure that things are going correctly. And that is this point. That is this point in the build. Oh, there we go. There we go. Wow. That worked out way better than I thought it would. Holy cats. Whew. All right, let's stick them together. This strip goes all along both edges. So we're just going to slather the inside with contact cement. We're not going to bother ourselves with being too precise here. Dang. Okay. All right. This is great. we go. There we go. Even across there. Now we're going to go ahead, layer it up here. For anybody wondering, this sort of edge rail guide that I've got here is not actually on the Pepakura templates. This is, however, something that I'll do pretty frequently. I find that builds tend to go better if you try in the planning phase to think about the way in which you're going to be sticking it together. Because I think foam undercuts do really great interior corners, but I think exterior corners are better done with either layering joins or just like two beveled edges meeting at a very sharp corner. And that's just an opinion, but it has served me well in the past. There we go. That should be enough. I'm not too concerned if I get a little more contact cement on there than I need, because all I'll end up doing is covering that join anyway with some quick seal. It'll be pretty quick to put together. I'll basically just put a little dab on my finger and run it along the whole corner edge, and that'll just hide the seam. It'll make the join look very smooth. It's always strange because sometimes when you're putting together a replica prop, what you're doing isn't necessarily creating something that's correct for like a universe. You're actually trying to mimic the feel of the way the prop looks, because most of Star Wars is lots of vacuformed props. So you're trying to mimic the style of like, this is one piece of plastic that we just kind of slapdash molded into exactly what we wanted, and so it's just one big piece. And of course I'm trying to mimic that here with many pieces. So we will see how close we can get. I've always wanted to do a Darth Vader helmet, but I've never felt like I had the right templates, the right model, the right skill to really get that sense that, oh, it's not just a foam build. It subtly looks like it could be maybe a vacuformed prop. There we go. There's one layer there. There we go. So, for those of you who don't know, this is actually a fun property. So I tend to work with stick together. No, stay there. Okay, I tend to do all my markings with Sharpie because I don't like the way like pencil and pen tends to leave like little impressions in the foam, because I'm a nightmare man, and my work is never finished. But one of the things that's a little bit of a drawback on that is that it can bleed through paint if you're not careful. I of course have several different layers of sealing in my process that tend to prevent that. But more than that, when I'm gluing with contact cement, especially if I've marked my edge with a Sharpie, which of course is an alcoholic marker. Not an alcoholic marker, it's an alcohol marker. I'm an alcoholic marker. Contact cement will start to make that run and bleed. Now, it won't usually impede my ability to see what I've been doing, and it's never been a huge problem, but it will start to sort of blur all your edges. So just keep that in mind if you do go this route. It's weird. I really do hope that these videos do inspire some people to go out and maybe try doing this, or maybe even attempt these builds, because I think they're a lot of fun, and I hope that some people, or at least somebody out there, watches this and goes, oh, he made a big old mistake there, and he hasn't even realized it. And they just avoid it entirely. And you know what? That will have been worth it to me to make videos like these. Just for that. There we go. There we go. Let's stick that together. Ooh. Almost ready here. Oh yay! The sun went down over the thing. I'm no longer super duper extra bonus like through the leaves lit. What time is it? Oh, it's like 6:30. Maybe my next live stream starts at 6:30. I don't know. We'll find out. Ooh, that's too much in one spot. There we go. That would have gooped up the whole thing. Would have been bad. Go. Stick that there. Hey! Careful with those alcoholic markers. Oh gosh. If any... Okay, so I am such a small YouTuber. But there's a dude, I think his channel's name is Jazza, who does... His favorite medium is like Copic markers and things, or Copic. And they're ink markers, but he has a really funny video where he actually like empties them out and replaces them with alcohol. Like various alcohols, and it's a funny video if you want to laugh for like 20 minutes. Ugh. Oh, well, hey there, Josh. I do have some recommendations. So a lot of people, I think, when they're getting introduced to foam, it's important, I think, that they learn to view foam as not just a sheet material to layer, as because sometimes I think people get really caught up in the idea that foam props like these are only good for like static props like guns and things. So I think the best thing you can do is a helmet of some kind, you know, something that you could wear or display. You know, it looks like art. You can add a lot to it. A lot of people recommend for a first build, there's a very particular model of Captain America's helmet. It's the first Avenger helmet. So it's pretty simple. You know, it's based crudely on like a World War II like soldier's helmet. I'm not a historian. I just do prop stuff. I'm a historian when I need to be. But I think that Captain America's helmet is a really great exercise for people who want to learn about foam building, because there's a lot of good undercutting places. There's ways to add strip detailing, and there's ways to learn how to heat and mold the foam to get really nice, tidy curves. I might, you know what I might do after I get out the live stream, I might link to, I actually have a set of templates for that. That's what I'll do. I have a set of templates for that particular helmet. It's really good beginner's prop. It's very easy to scale too, because of course there's like cutout space for the ears, and it's very easy to just kind of go boop, boop, and measure exactly where that needs to sit. Now I'm going to stop yammering for a second, because this is actually going to be just slightly difficult. Here we go. Go. There. Oh no. See, in a full video I would have cut around that, but y'all are here now, so you get to see me panic. There we go. All right, so that's one side done. And now, hopefully, when we glue the other side together. But I will say, if you're looking for a fun gun to make, Who is it? Who is it? Oh gosh. There's a prop weapon that Punished Props put together a little while back that was kind of a good starter project for a lot of people. Otherwise, I also know that WM Armory, Will Morgan Armory, has a really good starter build. Otherwise, I mean, if you're looking to just get into the idea of prop making, like if you want like a little dagger or a little sword, draw something up. That's a really good way to get into it, because I think sometimes people get hung up on the idea that they need to make a replica and it's got to be perfect. But if you make something that's yours, you feel like you have a lot more ownership and a lot more ability to correct your own mistakes. It's not a huge deal if something that you're making that's supposed to look the way you want it to look looks a little different, or maybe you decide halfway through you want it to look a little different. It's okay, because you're not comparing it to something that's like real, like a real prop. There we go. All right. Boy, that looks pretty good. Ooh, that is not correct. Uh-oh. There we go. I will be fixing that in post. There we go. Wow, this bucket looks great. That looks exactly like it should look. Holy cow. And it's, of course, like very large on me, but it's for display anyway. So, like, what are you gonna do? Vader's like, what, 6'4", 6'8", something like that? He's tall. He's stupid tall. This bucket can be as big as I want it to be. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to set this aside. Because it is still my fervent hope that I can get the majority of this actually glued together tonight. Let's see here. Okay. Now is the crunch time. Now is where I start putting things together. One of the things I'm going to be doing for this build is a lot of retail hobby stores have started selling not just this kind of foam, but foam dowels. So I'm really hoping to try out some of the thinner dowels to do like the cheek details. But we are going to get this mask together. So what goes together with what? These go together with that. This goes here, that goes there. This goes together here. That's enough to start. Sweet. Crunch time, people. I don't like to hang out by this glue for more than an hour. I know, I've got a lot of ventilation here, which helps, but I get even bigger migraines with a mask that's for, like, respiration for this kind of stuff. Because I have to have it so tight on my face. So a good, well-ventilated area is the best option for me. And just kind of jump right in. There we go. All right. Ugh. Angles are always so much easier to glue together anyways, because a curve or a dome, you know what that's supposed to look like. Even if you don't functionally understand like any math about what a dome is, like the human eye just understands that's not smooth. That's not pleasing. So you gotta get it right. Whereas an angle, you can hide that. You can resand that. You can do whatever you want with that. There we go. There we go. Oh, thanks, Melvin. Really appreciate that. There we go. Let's dig in here. Gosh, Josh, now you got me thinking about what are like good starter props. I know I haven't shown it at all yet, but I actually have a one-day build coming up. I'm trying to make Sokka's boomerang. Why? Because it sounded like fun, and I like making fun things, and I bet you it's going to be really easy, but also have a lot of space for fun experiments. Oh, I have so few builds where I get to experiment. So many of my builds are very, very regimented. Because planning makes most builds easier, even if it's not always the most fun thing to do. There we go. There we go. Wipe away the excess. Make sure it's a nice, even coat. Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas. You know what? Actually, if anybody cares to weigh in, I have always heard that expression. Now we're cooking with oil. But my girlfriend told me recently that it's actually now we're cooking with gas, and I don't know what's real anymore. So if anybody can weigh in on that, that would just be like a personal favor to me. It wouldn't even be about props. Oh my gosh. A British tar is soaring soul, as free as a mountain bird. His energetic fist should be ready to resist a dictatorial word. His nose and his breast should flame, and his brow should curl. His bosom should heave, and his heart should glow, and his fist be ever ready for a knockdown blow. There we go. That's 2 layers on there. Go. Oh, jeez. Now we're cooking with fire. What were you cooking with before? Like, no disrespect to like that, but what on God's green earth were you cooking with before? I mean, I suppose a stove, but oh God, this just proves that there's no like objective reality when it comes to language. It's just whatever we mean. It's like all those things vaguely mean the same thing, but like one is supposedly correct. I guess I don't know. Language is stupid. Language is stupid. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna turn that back on. There we go. Almost got it. There we go. There we go. Go. Oh, wow. That looks really good. Oh, that's so sharp. God. Yay, it's doing everything I was hoping it would do. There's an undercut on the inside of this that's just meeting so well. And the ridge through the both pieces here just looks really professional. Which is great. That's great. Here we go. Just constantly humming the Imperial March, Lord. Oh god, I was watching a really funny video today while I was working on this. It was about the various classical pieces of music Star Wars is blatantly ripping all the time. And I love it for all the good reasons of, like, sure, why not? Just make everything sound like classical music. It's great. More movies need to be classical music. Maybe that's why I like Star Wars so much. It's just a bunch of classical music. It's just a bunch of crazy, nonsense, grandiose ideas crammed together in space. Space Nazis. Space wizards. Space classical music. You know? Really sell it. There we go. Alright. Let's stick these pieces together here. Now here I did use some registration marks because there's a straight up hole in this edge, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. Here we go. Dum 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 dum. That's fitting together kind of funny. Oh, I'm gonna need to round that out because that is not wanting to stay out. That's okay. It's still, the suggestion of the shape is there. It's like a medieval sort of suggestion of Vader. It's kind of fun. Here we go. All right, now. I definitely get to go through and I took a photo of the 3D model because I am not entirely confident how every single one of these pieces goes together. So we got the front grille, which I've already detailed here and kind of recessed one of the pieces, and it'll require a little more work, but it's clear what it's all supposed to be here. And that was the goal before I got it to this point. Now, what we've got to do is fit this to all the other pieces. So there's some pretty extreme cuts here that I think I'm actually going to have to make even more extreme. So, boo, but... There we go. Who said whittling was going to be a useless skill? There we go. There we go. All right. Stick those two pieces together. Yes, that's perfect. The bridge of the nose here. High density EVA foam. All right, Melvin. So here's my thoughts on high density EVA foam. I think when you're working with a product, it's important to understand exactly what about it is going to be important to you. For instance, this piece of foam right here, I found out it was given to me, a roll of, I think 10 millimeter from Hobby Lobby. And Hobby Lobby's foam is high. I would argue it's high density, but it's also just obnoxiously hard. So it's good for solid state props, or it's good if you need something really thick that you're going to dig into. Like here, I've actually taken my Dremel and sort of routed into the nose part there, like the shape is supposed to be. So it's good for stuff like that. But it really just depends on what you want. Like, do you need a high density foam for most things? No. And actually, like, a lower density, softer foam is going to be great for some of these forms because, like, I need the bridge of the nose here to be super curved, even though it's like 6 millimeters in thickness, because I want it to be like a strong bond. I don't want it to just be flimsy 2 millimeter. So I want a soft piece of foam like this so that I can really jam it into a very harsh compound curve. And that's exactly what you want. I know that there's a lot of really good, like, extra bonus professional products out there right now. Like, Stephen K. Smith's has his HD foam. And that stuff is really nice. If I could afford to make most of my builds out of that stuff, I probably would. But sometimes you just need to be able to run out and grab something that's, on a shelf nearby. And that's just the way it is. I don't. It's all about what you need. And I feel that any product you buy should be servicing like a need of yours. For that reason, I tend to use cheaper products and finishing them and taking a little more time to finish them. Because at the end of the day, I am always going to fix any mistakes I may have made in the finishing process. So I might as well use materials that are going to benefit from that anyways. All right. So we got the top, we got the bottom, got the inner eye, we got the outer eye here. So this piece is going to rest inside the eye right here like this. Oh boy, that's going to be a doozy. We're going to do that in a minute. That's not dry. Yeah, no problem. I mean, that's definitely something I've seen outright debated, and you'll get people who are really up in arms about, like, something being either like a waste of money or like a waste of your time. And I think I tend to go back to that. There's a great chart. It's the triangle of things you can have. You can have something quick, you can have something cheap, you can have something well made. And I can do cheap and well made pretty well. It usually takes a little extra time and effort, but I ultimately find that the scheduling still works out for me pretty well, and I feel that I save a lot more than is important to me in quality. I haven't lost a ton of quality, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. We're gonna stick that together. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh, I'm glad I beveled that edge a little bit more, because that was not going to sit right. There we go. It's just a little nose hanger now. Perfect. Awesome. this is going to fit against the nose. Oh, so that depends on what you mean by overcut. Sometimes if I'm doing an interior corner, like a corner that's... Sorry, 1 second here. Like if I ever do a corner cut, like if I had an interior cut like here, this kind of goes up and in. If I had overcut into the foam that way, I obviously I tend to avoid that. You know, the best way to fix errors is of course by not making them. But I digress. That's not what this question's about. I definitely feel like it's pretty easy to fix a piece like that, especially if it's like a much larger piece that you spent a lot of time cutting out. You know, something it's a huge pain in the butt. Why would I do all this work again? Because the only thing you really need to do to fix that is get yourself some like wood skewers. Like you can usually buy a big bag of wood skewers from like any dollar store. What you're going to do is you're going to kind of wedge it open. You may even make the cut a little bigger so you get a nice even surface. Open that up, get contact cement in there, and then wedge the skewers in there so they don't touch. And then once you've gone ahead and done your 2 coats, sealed it up, you can stick that back together gingerly, leave it to sort of cure while you're doing other things, and make sure that bond is really nice and tight. But then when you're finishing, you may not even find that you need to do anything along the lines of extra sealing or anything. You might just be able to get away with it. Otherwise, sometimes, depending on what you're making, lean into it. Sometimes, Bob Ross once said, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. And in cosplay, there are no mistakes, only battle damage. And those are words to live by. So, I mean, if you really need it to be clean, you can clean it up. It's a forgiving medium. But otherwise, I mean, just go for it. Slather silver paint on it. Call it a bullet wound. And, go enjoy yourself. There we go. Stick that together here. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. There we go. That's starting to look very Vader-like. Perfect. Oh, gosh, we're almost done. We are almost done. I think it might be to my advantage. Nope. I should do this first. Stick these together. Stick those together. We'll call it good. What on earth? Oh, I see that's going to fit. And then this goes... Ah, there we go. This goes on that side. That goes on this side. All right. Oops. There we go. Okay. Ooh, there's a squirrel. Oh my gosh. There we go. Almost done now. Nevermore will they mock me. Go. Awesome. Wow, we are really almost done here. That's great. Those last few pieces always feel like way too much, more than you could possibly manage, but then they finally go together. And you realize the true magic was inside you all along. So, what are you gonna do? Ah, gross. Contact cement. There we go. You can do it. This piece is weird geometry because there's undercuts here that are going to make some weird bevels, and of course this folds in here. But if I do this correctly, ooh, it's going to look beautiful. There we go. If we do this correctly, it's an iconic cheek. Cheekbones that can cut like Angelina Jolie's. There we go. That rests right in there. Perfect. That did not rest right. I'm going to add a little bit more to that, and regrettably have to leave it for a moment. But that's okay, because these pieces need more glue. Oh god, it's 7:12. Alright, well, maybe we set these last couple pieces in, and we call it for the night. Oh boy. They're not speed builds, but sure feels like they should go together faster, don't it? Here we go. There. Awesome. There we go. That is sitting perfectly. Go. Excellent. I think my real goal for tonight was that I just leave with something that looks kind of like Vader. That's the thing. If it's just a pile of parts for too long, you start to lose hope. There we go. Feels tacky, feels good. I have something stuck to my finger. There we go. There we go. Again, iconic cheeks. Alright, so that'll stick together here. That is too much glue in one spot. We'll fix that real quick. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dry. Tell you what, we'll get one side dry enough to put together here. And then we'll let the other keep curing while we're sticking this together. Ooh. Oh god. There's a moment for the cause gods. Oh, just gingerly stick those together. Oh, that's sharp. Come on, come on. Oh, yes. Wait, where does this go? Oh, God. Oh, God. Where does this go? I'm so confused. Wait. E. It, like, curves around here? Oh, did I just make an outright mistake in this template? No, that fits super well right there. I'm definitely going to be keeping it like that. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's definitely Vader's eye. Oh my gosh. Let's get the other one in there. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Come on. Come on. Oh no. No. Oh man, well, one side looks great. One side's gonna require, like, no cleanup whatsoever. And, like, at the end of the day, what more can I ask for than the joy of having done half of my build correctly? LOL. Okay, there we go. It's at least stuck together. I can sand that correct. There we go. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, I want to fit the cheeks in before I'm done. Ooh. All right. Last two pieces. But I'm calling it after that. Got lots of detailing to do. But it looks great. Really happy with it. go. There we go. Whoa, whoa. So close. There we go. Thanks, Melvin. We're going for it. We are almost there. Alright, second layer of glue. Everybody saying stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Something happening. What it is ain't exactly clear. Well, there's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. Why does he stop? Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Ding, ding, ding. There we go. Yeah. If you're ever in a pinch, good builder's tool, your thumb, a little bit of spit, and then sterilize it when you're done. COVID. There we go. There we go. Ah, yes, the glamorous world of cosplay I've entered. Excellent. Here we go. Clear. Ooh. Wow, that was a relatively painless join. That is some That is some nutty geometry, but that is a pretty easy thing to put together when all is said and done. Oh, wow. That's Darth Vader. Holy cow. All right, let's get this last piece in place here. Go. Stick it to the fridge, stick it to the fridge. Oh. Oh my gosh. Right, corner, corner, corner. Tight edge, corner, stick. Oh, that's Darth Vader! Holy cats! There he is. And then, of course, can't forget the top piece here. That is looking very, very nice. Oh, well, thank you all so much for sticking around. It has been an evening of gluing, and I have absolutely destroyed this brush. But we got there. As always, huge thank you to my patrons. I got 2 patrons. Got AJ Plays Piano and Kieran. And I thank you both so much. If anybody else would like to, feel free to check out my Patreon down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. I've been Jaden.